Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Shadowrun Dragonfall Director's Cut with me, Alshouse Gaming. In the previous episode, we managed to escape from AG Chemicorp with their cyber zombie prototype. And yeah, that was pretty much it. Just a whole ton of fighting where we learned that the axe is mightier than the minigun. Anyways, as usual, when we come back to the Kreuzbazaar after a mission, we're going to go around, talk to people, see what we can get. Welcome back, mein Freundin. Your donations have been extremely helpful. Thanks to your assistance, many of the Kreuzbazaar's Ports residents will be able to ride out the winter in comfort. Let's see, talk about your organization, you accepting donations. Thank you, friend, but no. We have grown as much as I am comfortable with for 1 year, and you have done quite enough already. Knowing that you have positively impacted the lives of a great many Kreuzbazaar residents, Talia, be proud of that fact. Okay, well, nothing else then. Never gonna talk to him again. Wow. Not entirely true. Talia Civic Center. Okay. Can't even talk to our big troll friend here. What about Simi? No, can't even talk to her. How strange. Do I maybe need to go talk to Paul Amsel first? I mean, we can talk to our merchants. And I might as well talk with Gunari, see if he's got anything new for us. Let's see, outfits? No. And then let's get down to rifles. Let's see, Mossberg, no, that's not it. Colt M23. No, not really seeing anything. Oh, also, I should note, I didn't show it, but we had 16 karma by the end of the, at the end of the last episode. I already went ahead and spent it to get Body of 6, which we are going to need for the Bloodlines mission. And I also upgraded our Charisma to 8 in order to gain the Academic Etiquette, as you can see right here. And we are definitely going to need that in order to get a good ending on a certain mission. Well, we can't really talk to anyone. Guess we're just going to head back to the safe house in that case. Save some time. As Paul said at the end of the last episode, we have some important information to look over. Team's already assembled, so... Well, first, let's talk to Dante. Give him a nice pet. Alright, Paul, what you got for us? As you step forward, the rest of your team falls silent. Amsel shifts his attention to you. You can see the worry on his face. Talia, I have new information. I'm afraid the news isn't good. Yeah, I can tell. You've gathered the whole team. He nods. Yes, this is something that you all need to hear. Well, go on. We're listening. 2 years ago, a large shipment of highly lethal radioactive bioweapon disappeared en route to a storage facility in Dresden. The weapon was designated X-15. I have traced the path of the missing shipment. It was delivered to the Harfeld Manor. Well, that sounds... horrible. It is. I've heard of this stuff before. Back in the service, we called it Doom. I've never run across it in the wild, but I've heard enough horror stories to know that I don't want to. The stories that you've heard are correct. This Doom is an extremely dangerous substance. He gestures to a technical document on his computer's display. I've been reading up. To this day, the story of Doom remains a cautionary tale in biotech circles. Monoclonal antibody technology is strictly regulated now, and this substance is one of the reasons why. What does this stuff do exactly? Amsel clears his throat and reads aloud from the information on his screen. Doom kills by destroying a host's muscle tissue via radioactive decay. Each individual Doom antibody is bound to a radioactive bismuth 212 isotope. When introduced to a host, these antibodies bind to surface-level muscle tissues. The tissue is then killed with alpha radiation. The process repeats itself until the host wastes away and dies. Jesus. Iger nods grimly. I've heard that Doom was deployed in a couple of border skirmishes back in 41. After seeing what it did to people up close, the UCAS passed a unilateral ban on the stuff. If that doesn't tell you how bad it is, nothing will. Okay, so I hesitate to ask, but, what would a dragon want with this Drek? Nothing good. That much goes without saying. This development worries me, Talia. It worries me greatly. I'm looking at the big picture here, and I don't like what I see. There is a moment of silence, then Dietrich speaks up. Well, in my book, this doesn't change anything. I mean, it ups the stakes if Firewing's allowed to carry out her plans, whatever those might be, but we're gonna stop her before that happens. That was always the plan. As far as I'm concerned, it's still the plan now. I agree with Dietrich. We need to focus on what's in front of us. Whatever the dragon's larger plans might be, the fact is that she is after us. We shouldn't let ourselves get distracted by anything else. Amsel is slow to respond. Finally, he nods. Yes, I concur. For the time being, we must continue forward, and that means you must continue working toward raising Alice's fee. I'll leave the matter in your capable hands, Talia. When you've acquired the necessary funds and are ready to head back out to the rabbit hole, let me know. From there, we will discuss our next steps. Iger nods. Good. If you need me, I'll be getting prepped for the next run. Right behind you, love. Dietrich casts a backward glance at Glory. If any of this has had an impact on her, she doesn't show it. Come on, Glory. Let's go. Okay, well, with that slowdown coming back, talk to Paul once more. Let's see. Nope. Okay. Dietrich. What you need, boss? Any thoughts on that last run you'd like to share? There was nothing about that run that didn't disgust me. What they did to that troll, he shudders. It wasn't right, boss, on any level. I don't care what anyone else tells you. You listen to me, Talia. What you did, killing that thing, it was the right call. Yeah, it cost us some nuyen, but letting that thing live would have been a travesty. And back when we took on Humanus, you said you fought in the Night of Rage. I'd like to hear more about that. He nods, then fishes it in his jacket pocket for his flask. Alright, boss, we can talk about it. So I already mentioned that Berlin's punks and anarchists joined forces to fight off the racists, right? And after a long bloody fight, we beat them. What I didn't mention is how I figured into all of this. I am an anarchist at heart, always have been, but at the time I fit squarely into the punk camp. I was 32 at the time. Messerkamp was still touring, not as much as we did when we were kids, but we had a following. I guess I was sort of an elder statesman for the scene. When we rallied to fight the racists, my followers came along for the ride. Bunch of young kids, all full of piss and vinegar and the immortality of youth. I was full of that good old Dragon Slayer spirit, pissed off and itching for a fight. And so I led those kids into the fray. They waded into the riot right alongside me, yelling and screaming with their fists in the air. I don't remember a whole lot of the fight itself, boss, but I do remember the aftermath. A lot of kids that followed me had grown up listening to my music. They had all of my attitude, Talia, but none of them had my magic. And youthful enthusiasm is no defense against a knife or a handgun. I left the punk scene for all the reasons I told you, boss. There was a bigger reason, and I saw it in those kids' broken bodies. This road that I'm on, it leads to the grave. I've got the power to make it a leisurely trip, but make no mistake, that is where I'm headed. Those kids tried to follow in my footsteps, and they wound up sprinting ahead of me instead. Better for me to stay out of the public eye and stick to the shadows. My stint as a role model was ill-advised. You put any thoughts into what I said earlier? Yeah, boss, I have. It's an interesting idea, but there are risks. I'm thinking that this might not be the best of times to approach him about it. He's the source of my magic, remember? If our discussion turned into an argument, he could take all of that magic back in a heartbeat. And then, where would I be? Let's see. From what you've told me about the Dragon Slayer, I don't think he'd like the way you're talking. Since when has he ever encouraged you to back down from a fight? You've got a point there, boss. He wouldn't want me to back down. Ever. Not even from him. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. I'll ask the Dragon Slayer about shifting priorities, I guess you'd say. Taking on some deserving organization and calling off the hunt for something more impressive than the Firewing. Of course, a fight like that would never really end. I'm never gonna bring down a corp or a pulley club all on my lonesome. shrugs. But maybe that's not a bad thing. It'd take a lot of the guesswork out of life. I don't know, boss. If you have any thoughts about this, I'd love to hear them. Let's see. Damage to Humanus. Okay. If you want bigger bags, Seder Krupp. Want to tie yourself to a specific group. Yeah, let's go for Humanus. Tempting, but like you said, I've already kicked the holy hell out of them. Twice. If I'm gonna do this, it needs to be a step forward. The Dragon Slayer won't be satisfied with me retreading old ground. Okay, why tie yourself to a specific group? I say, keep it fluid. Stomp anyone that threatens the flux. Isn't that what Berlin is all about? He cocks his head. Interesting. That's a different approach, but I like it. Hang on a second, I'll ask. He closes his eyes and concentrates. Minutes pass. Slowly, a smile creeps across his face. Dietrich opens his eyes and turns to face you. Yeah, I think he'd like this plan just fine. That was it? That was all it took? The Dragon Slayer doesn't mince words, boss. If he didn't like the plan, he'd have told me. Dietrich grins wide. He looks more at ease than you've ever seen him. Well, boss, I've got myself a plan. And a new target to boot. That's assuming, of course, that any of us make it through our current predicament alive. You know, Dietrich, now that you've got a handle on your connection with the Dragon Slayer, you could probably reach out to your old community again. Berlin's punks could benefit from your experience. He nods. Yeah, boss, I was thinking the same thing. Maybe I could give back a bit and fix some of the damage I caused in my misspent youth. After we're finished dealing with the crisis in front of us, that is. It's a good thought anyway. I'll keep it in mind. And he's not going to have anything new on Alexander. Okay, well, I'm curious as to what Iger thinks of all this, and I just realized that I forgot to start my timer. Because of course I did. No matter. Set it for about 18 minutes, that should be good. Iger glances up from her PDA at the sound of your approach. Talia? This isn't the best of times. Her body language is self-assured, but you can hear the anxiety in her voice. Something has her worried and in a big way. Any thoughts on the last run? Not gonna lie, Talia. This one is gonna stick with me for a while. What they did to that troll was sick. This is probably not gonna surprise you, but I'm happy that the Mark 6 is dead. Yeah, Herr Schmidt was pissed, and sure, our reputation got dinged. Neither of those are good things, but I'll take them over being a part of what they were doing to that troll any day. Walking out of a run with a clean conscience is a rare pleasure. Savor it while you can. So she approves. Good enough. Talk to me, Iger. If something's put you on edge, I want to know what it is. There's a long pause. Finally, she turns her PDA so that you can look at the screen. This. The image that greets you is a hollow pic of a rail-thin orc with jet black hair. Who am I looking at? His name is Yuli Kozlov, but he's better known by his handle, the Engineer. He's a mercenary, ex-Spetsnaz, one of the best in his field. I ran up against him in my KSK days. Tell me more. His specialties are social engineering and wet work. In practice, he spends most of his time paving the way for organized crime syndicates to seize new territory. He sets up bribes, takes out key members of the opposition, and forges alliances with existing street gangs. All the groundwork that a syndicate needs. He's extremely bad news, Talia. My contact spotted him in Schottennest. It's a little too close to the Kreuz Bazaar for comfort. Exactly. I've seen what the Engineer can do up close. My KSK unit tracked him a few years ago. I had him in the sights of my rifle, but I was ordered to hold fire. We couldn't afford to give away our position. To this day, I regret obeying that order. I saw what happened to the town that he was softening up after the Syndicate moved in. Talia, I have to stop him before it's too late. What happened to that town? It can't be allowed to happen again in Schottennest. Agreed. Do you know who he's working for now? The safest bet would be a Russian syndicate, but there's no telling. His client list is longer than you'd expect. Got any examples? Well, I know for a fact that he's worked for mafia groups operating inside and outside of Russia, and he put in a lot of time with the Lobachevsky Syndicate. He's taken contracts with the Trads as well. My contacts tell me that he's even done a few jobs for Tamanos. That's a hell of a resume. Yeah, Yeah, it is. She bites her lip and stares at the image on the PDA for a long moment. So, long story short, I'm going to have to step out for a mission or two. I know how important it is that we resolve the Feuerschwing situation, I get it. But I can't just sit back and let this happen. She shakes her head. I won't. If the Kreuzbazaar is at risk, this is too important a job to rest on the shoulders of one person. I'm going with you. End of story. Alright, fearless leader. You're right. I could use the help, but the others, they can't know about this. This is going to have to be a quiet job. 2 people max. You sure you're prepared for this? If you can't hold up your end, I'll be better off on my own. Don't worry about me. I'm solid. Yeah. Yeah, I know you are. Grab your things and meet me at Der Weinkeller. I've got a contact who's going to join us there, and he can help us figure out our next step. Okay. And now Glory. Glory favors you with a weak smile, her expression cautious. You're suddenly aware of how very small she is. Hoi, Talia, I've got to admit, I've been dreading this. So, now that you know what I've done, what I am, are you going to tell me off? I wouldn't blame you if you were. Any thoughts on the last run? Talia, look at me. She extends her sculpted metal arms. Chrome glints the flickering light. I'm not far from being what that poor troll was. When I think of what they did to him... She looks you in the eye. Her expression remains neutral, but that slight blush has spread from her neck to her cheeks. It wasn't right. You did the only thing that you could to make it better. You knew that it would cost you, and you did it anyways, because it was right. I won't forget that, Talia. Not ever. Okay. No, Glory, I'm not here to tell you off. Truth be told, I wanted to check in and see how you were doing. Not great. Struggling. About how you'd expect. We left off in a bad place last time. I've been thinking about your story, and I have a question for you. Yeah, what is it? You've escaped from Harrow, but he's still out there. If you're looking to atone for your past, don't you think that shutting him down would be a good place to start? She holds her silence for a long time. Finally, she nods. Yes. I've been thinking about this for a long time, Talia, and every time that I've gotten close to making a decision, I've turned and run away again. No more running. I'm ready to face this thing, but I can't do it alone. I'm going to need your help. That's the idea. Alright, if we're going to do this, we need to be clear on what our goal is. There are a lot of innocent people in that place. Lost street kids who got sucked in by Marta and the other girls like her. Saving them won't be easy, but it feels like the right thing to do. But then there's also Harrow to consider. I want that man dead. Lord knows he deserves it. And if we don't make killing him our top priority, he might get away from us. If that happens, he'll eventually start up another cult somewhere else, where we can't find him. And all of this will have been for nothing. Hold up one sec, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Mother's out taking care of some shopping, and she needed me to check some stuff for her. Where were we? Alright, we're likely to run into other complications as well, so I think that we need to make a decision here up front. What would you do in my place? Rescue the kids, or take down Harrow? I don't think that we can manage both. Freeing the kids should be our first priority. We raid Feuerstelle, round up the runaways, and clear Harrow's influence from their minds. Killing him would have to be secondary. I hate giving Harrow the chance to escape, but you're right. Saving the kids is what's important. She pauses, considering her choice, and a smile flits across her lips. This feels like the path to redemption. This feels right. Glad to hear we're in agreement. When you're ready to go, meet me at the van. It's a long drive from here to the Schönbuch. She nods. Right, I'll get my things. Oh, and thanks, Talia, for everything. We're not leaving immediately. As a matter of fact, it's not going to be our next mission. The cool blue tones, workstations, yeah, check our inbox. One last DVD. The screen flickers to life and Malit's face appears. She wears a plastic smile. Hi again, Talia. Well, I've recovered one last DVD for you, but I'm afraid that's all you're gonna get. Might as well use the rest as coasters. They're all beyond repair. If you look on the table beside your DVD player, you'll find the disc that I salvaged. She pauses. A slight frown crosses her face. To be completely honest, that was a lie. To recover this last disc, I was forced to subcontract. Shradi is still a brute of a man. I am unimpressed with his manner, and his poor hygiene disgusts me. But he is very good with old things such as this. All credit where it's due. The message ends and your image fades. Back at the inbox. Okay, jobs directory. Well, let's get chewed out. Finished. Message pops up onto your screen. Herr Schmidt to Talia. Let's call your work unsatisfactory, and there it is. Alright, be right back. Okay, we are back. Where were we? Alright, Herr Schmidt. To Talia. To call your work unsatisfactory would be an understatement. When I said that we wanted the prototype, it should have gone without saying that we wanted it intact and operational. You technically fulfilled the terms of our arrangement, so you will get paid, but don't ever expect to work for us again. Schmidt. It's fine with me. 22,500, and we get 3750 for us. Alright. Pending jobs. The only thing left is the As Technology sabotage run. Status of the Alice Fund. We are 10 grand short. Well, the As Technology thing should pay for it. I'm not depositing my own funds into that. Let's check the Shadowlands. Let's see. Claim paint Batha. Sharing Pharma AG chemical research data. An extra 387 never hurt. Let's see, post-pay data, nothing to post. Let's search a BBS. Let's see, please help me find my daughter. Please help me find my daughter. She ran away from home. She is human, in her early 20s with short blonde hair and data jacks. She was last seen wearing a light blue dress. Worried Mother 004. This is not exactly the place to be looking for missing kids. How did you even get in here? I paid good money to get on here. I was told you people could help. If you've got the Nuyen, you came to the right place. I sent you a number that you can reach me at. The old help me find my missing kid routine. A classic. My money is on escaped wage slave. Make sure you do your homework, Ruby. Alright, Corp Tracers. Anyone have a good backup plan for when you get stuck with a tracer? Barely managed to bug out of my apartment after a Corp hit squad came knocking. Lesson learned. Pat yourself down a couple times and make sure you don't have a tail. But if I miss something, I'd rather keep my safe houses, you know, safe. I've had a good luck with RF blockers. I have a jamming grid set up near my safe house. It projects any signals to a few miles away where I've got some cameras placed. So when someone shows up, I know they were trying to find me, then I do a thorough sweep to find the tracker. Sharp. How long does that go on before they give up? Tolstoy. Usually rule of threes. I keep reprojecting the signal to different locations. In my experience, they give up after the third one is a dead end and stop listening to that RF signal. Alright, not much else here. Like I said, we are going to be going for the Eiger quest next. But I'd like to go around the Kreuz Bazaar. Let's see, I'll chat about it after the run. Can't really talk to him until we take care of his quest, which won't be for a while. Alright, still can't talk to anybody else, but I did remember we had something to turn in. At the phone booth. I don't really need the Nuyen, but the extra karma is going to be helpful. Though I'm not really sure what to put into it. Oh well. Deliver the AG Chemic project data, drug formula, and visual records. The machine accepts the data upload, and only a few moments later a certified cred stick is spat out of the coin slot. The phone's old LCD readout displays the text. Freedom, equality, information, Schockenwellenreiter. Okay, that gets us a couple extra karma, though at this point I'm not 100% sure what to spend it on. I mean, I guess probably rifle at this point. Let's see. Headshot. Not bad. Deadeye increases 2 hit by 20%, pierces up to 2 armor. Also good. Yeah, I'm not really sure what else I would put it into. Biotech 4 would be useful for the next mission, but there's no way in hell I'm going to get another 4 karma before that. I suppose, now that we have a whole lot of cash, we could look into some BioWare. Let's see, let's check out your cyberware, man. Let's see, where was it? Not the ortho skin. Though having the extra armor might not be bad. Platelet factory. High level lessening trauma from recent wounds. Let's see, there's a blitz. Enhanced articulation. +1 to dodge and +1 to quickness. To be honest, do I really need the extra quickness? Toxin exhaler. Let's see, +1 dodge and +1 to movement. That might not be bad. Like, if this gave me extra movement, I might go for it, but... Let's see, wasn't there something else in legs? I could have sworn there was. Cerebral booster, no. Pain editor, no. Platelet factory. No, wait, the other thing I was looking at was the muscle augmentation. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I really need any of this. Well, let's see, wired reflexes. Oh, but that's a 2 essence cost. Ugh. Nah, I think I'll pass on that. Probably stick to BioWare. Let's see, +1 armor, listing trauma. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I'm really gonna get any of this. Oh well, I know I considered that one thing for the plus quickness, but really? I don't think I'm gonna need it. Mainly because I don't think I'm gonna get enough karma for that to really make a difference. But you never know. Oh well, down into the wine cellar. Or der Weinkeller. Hello, Bannock. This dwarf has a distinctly Eurasian appearance. He peers up at Iger through almond-shaped eyes. The rest of his broad face is dominated by strong Slavic features. He nods to himself and puts down his mug of soy calf. On the edge of the table, a plate of day-old pie cools in the haze of cigarette smoke. Hoy, Iger. Been a long time. He taps a thumb on the rim of his coffee cup. Keeping busy? You could say that. Talia, this is Bannock. He's a friend. The dwarf scoffs. Don't know if I'd go that far. Nothing personal, you understand. If I were to start keeping friends, I might call you one. But in my experience, friendship and obligation go hand in hand. A solitary life is cleaner. She smiles. Professional acquaintance, then. Dwarf nods. Better. Now, let's get down to business, shall we? Let's. We need intel on the engineer, where he's staying, and who he's working for. How long he's been in Shot Nest. Whatever you got, we want it. He spears a hunk of pie with his fork, crams it into his mouth, and starts to chew. A moment later, he shrugs. I've had worse, and of course, I'll give you what I can. But I don't know much. I can point you in the right direction, that's all. Just tell us what you can. We'll handle the heavy lifting. The dwarf nods, then fumbles in his jacket pocket for something. A moment later, he produces a weathered paper map and spreads it on the table. All right. What you're looking at is the northwest quadrant of Schottennest. This is gang territory, all of it. These days, the whole Kiez is being held by Rambach. I've had a run-in with Rambach before. We can handle them. Wouldn't be so sure about that if I were you. The guy that filled the power vacuum when their last leader bid it is a real piece of work. But hey, maybe you're right. I hope so, for your sake. He stabs a meaty finger down on the faded silhouette of a building. This warehouse, right here, is Rambach HQ, and that's where the engineer is staying. Wonderful, Iger exhales heavily. If he's staying there, he must be arranging some sort of deal with them. That'd be the safe bet, and they haven't pulled their guns on him yet, so it's fair to assume that negotiations are going well. I'm sure that I don't have to tell you this, but the last thing we need is an alliance between some foreign syndicate and Rambach. No good could come of that. I can't argue with that. Now, I can't tell you who the engineer is working for. You'll have to ask him about that yourself. But what I can do is make it easier for you to have a sit-down with him. Bannock reaches under the table and brings up a canvas bag. He places it in front of you and pushes it forward. Don't open that in here. There are people in this room who would kill you for what's in that bag. You gonna tell us what it is, or do we have to guess? He lowers his voice to a soft whisper. You have to lean in to hear him clearly. What you're gonna find in there is a gadget about the size of a water pistol. It has a rubberized grip and a hair trigger, and it's good for one shot. Is it a stun gun? No. He pauses for a moment, playing with his fork. Well, not really. For your purposes, you might as well think of it as one, though. The object in question is a cyberware deactivator. I had it shipped here, at great personal expense, from a Supermax prison in the UCAS. He traces a twirl in the air with the fork. The warden owed me a favor. Iger whistles appreciatively. Very nice, Bannock. That should make this easy. Not easy. Possible. I wouldn't be giving it to you if the job could be done without it. The engineer is rocking Delta-grade move-by-wire system. Unless he can shut it down, there's no way in hell you're going to catch him. And if we do shut it down, he'll be forced into a state of permanent seizure. He shrugs. Only until he gets the thing up and running again. Deactivated isn't the same as broken. Dwarf shovels another heaping forkful of pie into his mouth. He chews thoughtfully. Until then, his life will be a living hell, but I can think of worse things to use as a bargaining chip. Remember, you need to know who he works for. The more you can take him out of his comfort zone, the better. Oh, that's handy. Making people uncomfortable is my specialty. Truer words have never been spoken. Thanks, Bannock. We'll let you know how things work out. Don't bother. I'll be watching. Okay then. Well, with that, we are actually out of time for this episode. So, we're probably going to take care of the Iger mission next time we come around. Sorry again for all the interruptions, but like I said, shopping to be done and questions needed to be answered by me. So, yeah. But anyways, if you guys like what you see, please leave a like, subscribe for future content, and don't forget to hit that bell icon to get notifications for when I upload, or to hit the straw polling to vote for our next Let's Play. And please, leave a comment down below this video. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching.